With more from TPC Craig Ranch, we welcome in Rex Hoggard. Rex, great to see you, buddy. We know what Will Zalatoris has put his body through, including surgery. How much of a setback is this news?
Well, first and foremost, it's a hit for the field. He was the highest ranked player in the field. He's a Dallas guy. I think there was going to be a lot of fans out here to watch him continue that comeback that he started last year in the Bahamas. I traded text briefly with his performance coach, Josh Gregory. He told me he was, quote, 100% fine. And as you pointed out, he said he just needed some rest. This sounds like off the top that it's kind of a schedule crunch. You look at what he has been through really the last few days. He played last week in the team event in New Orleans. Of course, he played the Masters. He played Hilton Head. We're getting into a very busy stretch. I think this was probably the prudent decision. Anytime you have a player that has gone through everything that Willie has when it comes to his surgery and the health issues that he withdraws, it's always going to send up some red flags, but it seems like on the surface this has much ado about nothing.
Rex, with Zalatoris now out, the entire focus of the tournament, of course, turns to Jordan Spieth. He did not play in this tournament a year ago because of a wrist issue. It is still hampering him, at least to some extent. What's your level of concern when it comes to Jordan Spieth and how he's played so far in 2024?
I think when it comes to Jordan, I have concern, I have excitement, and everything else in between. You and I talk a lot about this, that I don't think there's anyone on the PGA Tour right now who is as entertaining to watch play golf as Jordan Spieth, simply because he has no unspoken thoughts. Everything on the golf course is being exchanged between he and his caddy, Michael Greller. And we actually referenced this a few weeks ago when I was in San Antonio for the Texas Open, and I had a chance to talk with Jordan just kind of about the idea if he's moving in the right direction. Does he feel like whatever changes he's working on with his team are working out? And he said he's having a hard time separate the results from the process. By that, the results simply haven't been there, but he feels like he's dedicated to the process. But it is getting to the point where you can tell he is aggravated.
Well, Rex, is understandable. Jordan Spieth, one of the best players of this generation, that has only 2 victories since 2017. Are we getting to a point where, you know, the aforementioned resume kind of outshines where Jordan Spieth is right now, and he's not one of the best players in the world anymore?
Well, you look at where he is in the world ranking. He is 20th right now, and he is the only top 20 player in the field this week. So I still think he's keeping pace with some other players that are around him. But no, he's not that top 5 player that we saw, pick a time, 2015, 2016, when he was in full flight and he was doing things that we really hadn't seen since Tiger Woods. And a lot of this stems from, as Ryan pointed out, that there were injuries that he continues to deal with. But I think the other half of this is he lost a lot of confidence over the last few years. First with his swing, then with his short game. It's going to take time, if it ever comes back, because he puts so much energy, so much emotion into being able to do incredible things on and around the greens. We were never surprised when he made a big putt or chipped in. Now he doesn't seem to have the confidence to pull that off, and I feel like that was a huge part of who Jordan Spieth was.
You mentioned the hit to the field earlier in this segment. Now just 3 top 30 players in the field at the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, which is not all that uncommon for these full field events on the PGA Tour. What's your sense of how this is resonating with golf fans, the split between the signature events, we know the best players are going to be competing, and these full field events which offer an opportunity for the rank and file?
I think last week the team event in New Orleans, the Zurich Classic, was a bit of an outlier because you ended up with Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry doing really special things and winning in a playoff. And I think there was a lot of excitement around that. But it's hard to carry that momentum in when you have, as you pointed out, really just one top 20 player. Jordan Spieth is going to have to carry the flag this week. Now, we have seen earlier in the season, you've seen those events that are in between the signature tournaments, those events that are giving players an opportunity to play their way into the signature events. However, in this particular case, I don't know how much it's resonating with the fans, because you and I can talk about the Aon Swing 5 and the Aon Swing 10 and talk about how important it is to play well this week, to get into next week, the Wells Fargo, another signature event, but I don't think it's quite registered with the fans just yet.
Understandable if there's a bit of a post-Masters lull, I get it. How much of the onus is on the PGA Tour in the midst of these negotiations with the PIF, for example, to think outside the box, to keep trying to be innovative and to do things in a different way to keep those golf fans engaged?
I think pushing the envelope is really important, and we're seeing that right now. The comparisons between the signature events, the majors, and then the full field events, you do need to do something different. I think the PGA Tour, the players have acknowledged this. I think Max Homa has probably been one of the more outspoken players when it comes to this. I reported this a few weeks ago at Hilton Head that there was a player meeting. There was a player advisory council meeting, and Theo Epstein, the former Boston Red Sox executive, spoke to the players about the idea of trying to create a new product. It's what they did in baseball. We look at how much time they cut off the average baseball game. That resonated with the fans. It made the game seem a little bit refreshed. It made the game seem a little bit younger. That's what golf is trending to right now. And go to last week's news about the equity program. That has a lot to do with the idea that the tour wants to make every player believe that they're an owner of their own tour. So not only do they buy in and they remain loyal to the PGA Tour, but they also understand that they have to go out of their way to make the product better. And that's probably going to take some new thoughts and some new experiments.
The fans want it and need it.